Welcome. This is the community yoga practice for Tuesday, September 29th. And as we have been for the last several weeks, we're following the Roswell Presbyterian Church sermon series on the Ten Commandments. And this is the last of that series. And the sermon was on non-coveting. Thou shalt not covet. I have likened the Ten Commandments in the Bible to what we call the kind of Ten Commandments of yoga, which are the yamas and the niyamas. There's this great little book by Deborah Adele. And in the yoga practice, the first five commandments are the ones that are the sort of thou shalt not. For instance, the first one was ahimsa, do no harm. This last one is aparigraha, which is non-possessiveness. So really close to non-coveting. And I just want to share a few of the tidbits that she has in her book. She says, I'll just use non-coveting, invites us to let go and to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying fully. So that's one way she puts the grand positive in, is to travel lightly, care deeply, and enjoy fully. Another one of the suggestions she has is that our expectations keep us captive and often disgruntled, and yet we choose our attachments rather than our freedom. So again, staying away from the negative, which would be to be disgruntled and want what we think we can't have, and just practice more freedom. So she says that anything we cling to creates a maintenance problem for us, very similar. But this one I love. How many suitcases full of expectations, tasks, plans, resentments, and unforgiving moments was I toting around with me every day? So I'm going to invite you to let go of any expectations or plans, any unfinished business from your day, whether it's the beginning of the day or the end of your day. You're going to want to sit up tall. If you could you could sit in a chair if you like. I have a yoga strap we might use. I'm sitting on a yoga block that helps your knees drop down. And let's see, you can always use a necktie for a strap. So I want to be sure that you know that you can contact me via email. You probably all have my email, or if you're signed up for the groups, you can contact me through the groups website. If there's anything that's not working for you in these practices, please reach out to me and we'll find a way to make them appropriate for you. So sitting up tall, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and just feel your spine really long. So take your shoulders up by your ears, roll them down, so your shoulder blades feel like they're sliding down your back, and the back of the neck is long. And then just start to pay attention to your breath. You might even rest one hand on your belly. Feel your belly filling on the inhale, but the shoulders don't go anywhere. They stay level. So not hiking up the shoulders so much, just expanding the rib cage and the gut. And then gently pulling the belly toward the spine on the exhale. So you can let go of your belly and just rest your hands on your thighs. And as you follow your inhale and your exhale, and your mind starts to settle, we'll set an intention. And because this practice really isn't about us, it's about better equipping ourselves to serve. If you'd like, I'm going to invite you to think of 3 gifts that you have to share with the world. Qualities that you have, skills, or talents, or a spiritual gift. Think of one. Affirm it by saying quietly to yourself or silently, I am I have. Think of another. Again, I am or I have. Repeat the first one to yourself. Repeat the second one to yourself. And then think of a third. You can do it. I'll make some suggestions if it's helpful. Generous, peaceful, patient, kind, teacher, hospitality, caregiver, healer, musician, and there are so many others. So now that you have your three, repeat them to yourself one more time. And then we'll begin by moving the spine. So we're going to do it nice and gently. We're going to make this practice as balanced as possible. All right, so bring your hands together at your heart center. So we'll do some back bending, heart opening, some twisting, some forward folding, one-legged balances, and some stretches. So on an inhale, take your arms out like goalpost arms. Lift your sternum a little bit, maybe raise your gaze on an inhale. And on your exhale, hollow out, bringing your elbows together, pulling your mid back toward the back wall, slowly and gently to begin with. Or just keep doing that, moving with the breath. Inhale, elbows out and back. Exhaling, forearms together. Inhaling, elbows up and out. And exhaling, hollow out. One more, inhaling, gently arching, and exhaling, gently folding. And then interlace your hands. Turn your palms out if you're able. And then take your arms up overhead, dropping your tailbone and taking your upper arms back by your ears, or as far as you can go. We're going straightening the elbows. Reach those palms up. And exhale, gently release. Just shake your shoulders out a little bit. Good. And then inhaling, we're just going to twist really gently, right? So get really, really tall. Exhaling, twist to your left. So I'm working on being your mirror. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Do that a couple more times. Starting to feel the muscles around the ribs. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist. One more time. Good. Come on back to center. Inhale your arms up over your head again. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. I want you to take your fingertips, your two fingertips, and put them on those little bones at the base of your skull, your occipital bones. So draw your elbows back and just massage those bones a little bit. Give yourself a little self-care. Maybe even close your eyes while you do it. So there's a theory that those bones are the closest we can get to the pituitary and pineal glands, which regulate all our hormones, a lot of our emotions. Okay, and then gently stop the massage and just place all four fingertips at the base of your skull. Draw your elbows back. You're going to pull your low belly in and slowly and gently drop your left elbow. Raise your right. Just keep gazing forward. Inhaling, come to center. Keep the elbows drawn back. Slowly fold to the other side. So just using our core muscles and the muscles that support our spine. One more time, each side. Stay long. And inhale, come on back to center, and exhale, release your arms. Take your shoulders up, back, down, and again. And already, see if you notice a difference in your energy since we've warmed the spine. So if this is all you did in a day, it would still be really good for your body, mind, and spirit. So we're going to keep moving. Coming to all fours if you're able. So you can pad your knees with a blanket. Make sure your fingers are spread wide like Spider-Man hands. And on an inhale, take your left leg out behind you. Exhaling, tap the ground. Keep your toes curled under. Inhale, lift your heel up. And then exhale, cross it over your body and tap. Feeling a little side stretch. Inhale, lift it up, back in line. And exhale, tap it down again. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop. And again, inhale, lift. Stay long. Exhale, tap behind you. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bring that knee in and just rock your hips from side to side. Again, work on our lower core. Those muscles around our hips. Stretch the other leg out. Tap the heel down. And inhale, lift the heel up. And cross the body the other way, tap. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, tap. Stay light in the wrist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, gently cross. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Gently cross. And inhale, lift. And exhale, put the knee down. And again, rock your hips from side to side. Good. Then we're going to come onto our elbows. And you're going to walk your knees out so that you're in a modified plank pose. I'm going to place my hands flat on the ground. I'm spreading my collarbone wide, back of the neck long. Curl my toes under. I'm going to pull my low belly in, and on an inhale, just lift my knees for a second. And exhale, drop them down. Then let the tops of your feet go flat and slowly and gently, making sure it's okay with your low back. Firm up your legs and let your hips drop and lift your chest a little bit. Good, so pull your low belly in, and on an exhale, lift your hips. Make sure your low back is well supported with your belly muscles. Curl your toes under and see if you can lift your knees again just for a moment and then put them down. Relax the feet, pull the low belly in, drop your hips, firm up your legs. Strong legs make good back bends, and gently lift up. Gaze in between your thumbs, pull your low belly in, lift your hips, curl your toes under, come to low plank just for a moment, and exhale, gently release. Uncurl your feet, drop your hips again. One more time, lift the chest, and exhaling. Move your elbows out so that you can make a pillow for your head with your hands. And take a couple of breaths here. Come back to that intention that you set. Name the 3 gifts that you have to share with others. On an inhale, slowly and gently lift your head and take your fingertips forward and out to the side. So I'm making more space for our spine, right? You're again going to push your feet into the mat, firm up your legs like you have a mermaid tail, and then inhale. Use your fingertips, slowly helping you raise your chest. It's okay if it only goes 1/4 of an inch. Exhale, release your forehead to the mat. All right, keep your elbows lifted. Inhaling, gently arch. And exhaling, forehead to the mat. And again, inhaling, gently arch. And exhaling, forehead down. Make that pillow for your head with your hands again. Bend your knees and take your feet from side to side. Windshield wiper. Good. And then put your hands under your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in. Lift your hips up first if you can. Coming back to all fours. Rock your hips from side to side. And we're going to come to seated on one hip. If you sit on your right hip, if your hips are tight, you might need to sit up on a block. You might just have that one hip on a block. Gotta get right there. So that gives you just some more space to get your feet to drop down. If you're able to get your spine nice and vertical, so you don't want to be folded out like this, you want to get your spine nice and vertical. And then I'm going to twist away from my feet, so get really, really tall. And exhaling, twist away. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. Nice, and come on back to center. Do a little core work to go to the other side. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. Hold the backs of your thighs. My legs are bent about 90 degrees. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, hollow out gently. Inhale, lift your chest again. Now, if you're able, sit back on your hips and lift your shins. One shin at a time might be okay, right? And then if you can, reach your fingertips forward. Keep your legs in line. Try not to let your knees flop out so you're using your inner thighs. One more breath. And then we'll shift our feet to the other side. All right, for the easy spinal twist, get really, really tall. And exhale, twist. Nice, and come on back to center. And we're going to do that same core exercise. So I'm going to stay forward this time. I'm going to start with my feet planted. Right, I'm going to lift my chest. You can see how my feet, my knees, and my hips are all in one long line. Then lean back if you can. One leg or both legs. And reach your fingertips forward. Keep your chest lifted. You can do this. And exhaling, gently release, being mindful of the transitions, right? So we're going to come onto our elbow on our side. Got my left leg on top, right? My knees are slightly bent. You're going to pull your low belly in, and on an inhale, see if you can lift your hips and stay on your knee. So we're using core muscles, the side body. Drop your tailbone toward your heels. If you wanted to go and have it be a little more challenging, you could lift your knees and straighten your legs. Just take a breath. Softening the knees, come back onto your hips. Right? Pull your knees in. We're going to do an easy seated twist before we go to the other side. So I've got my right knee pointed straight forward. If that bothers your knee, you could stretch it out in front of you like that. Again, we're trying to get both hips on the ground, so if you need to sit up on a block or a cushion, do that. All right, inhale, get really, really tall. Push into this foot. Keep your hips dropping down. Use this inner thigh, pulling it towards your ribs as you twist toward your top leg. Couple of breaths. inhaling, release the twist. Gonna come back to an easy seated pose. Sit up tall and exhale, gently fold yourself forward. So forward folds are great to do before we go to sleep. I've got my spine mostly straight. The leg, the knee that was up in the air for that twist is the one that's in front. I'm going to walk my hands over to that side slowly and gently. And then I'm going to walk my hands through center, still using my low belly to support the spine. Walk them over to the other side. You probably feel a deeper stretch in that hip. Come on back to center. Inhaling, raise your upper body, shoulders right over the hips. And we'll transition to low plank on the other side. So right on my elbow, knees slightly bent, pulling the low belly in. Make the space between your shoulders and your ears longer as you inhale, lift your hips. Decide if you want to stay here or maybe come up onto your edge of your foot. Keep breathing. You got this. And then gently drop the hips down. Pull your low belly in, being mindful of the transitions. And we're going to go to that easy seated twist on the other side. Rooting that foot, dropping the hips, pulling the top thigh toward the rib cage as you inhale, get really, really tall. And exhale, twist around. Good. Inhale, come on back to center. Just going to come to easy seated pose with that top foot in front, right? And we'll gently stretch forward again. So being mindful of your low back, right? Maybe keeping the spine nice and straight. And then I'm going to use my hands to walk myself over toward the front leg. So our yoga practice is a great way to practice non-attachment. If your body's not doing what you expected it to do, just take a breath, walk through center, go away from that foot now. Just accepting what we're able to do today. Try and exhale into the tight place. Letting go of any notions of what we think our practice should look like. Just coming through center. Use your hands to push yourself back up. Right. And I'm going to grab hold of the strap. We're going to do an easy forward fold. So legs are stretched right out in front. Again, if your hips are tight, you might want to sit up on a block or a blanket, or you could keep your knees a little bit bent. That's going to work the belly of the hamstring muscle more than the hip attachment. There's this thing called yoga butt. If you stretch your hamstrings at the hip attachment too much, you can start to get some pain there. So you might want to keep your knees a little bit bent. Walking your hands forward on a strap. Maybe you can grab hold of your feet. Rock from side to side a little bit, releasing any tension. So on some exhales, we're just going to gently take the back of one knee toward the mat. Right, releasing it. And the next exhale, gently take the other knee down. So super subtle motion, right? Maybe even closing your eyes. Left knee gently pushing toward the mat. Use your quad. Release. So when we squeeze our thigh muscle at the top of the thigh, it will help release the hamstring. Right leg drops down. Release. So keeping the knees still slightly bent. See if you can take your rib cage closer to your thighs. Draw your toes back toward your knees. You might feel more of a stretch in the calf muscles. Think about especially bringing your pinky toes back. Good, and inhale, use your hands to bring yourself back up. We're going to roll, if you can, back through the knees onto all fours. And I'm going to take my left foot forward into low lunge. So knee right over the ankle, right? Most important thing. I'm holding on to the block. It makes my arm longer. On inhale, bring your hand to your thigh, so make sure you're nice and stable, right? If you're feeling wobbly, get your hips more low and forward. So if you're up here, it's like you're a Jeep. Easy to fall over, right? If you're down here, you're more like a Lamborghini. Both are good, but we want to go forward, right? If you're still feeling wobbly, you could walk that front foot out to the side. And then on inhale, take your arms up and draw your elbows back, just like we did at the beginning. Just keeping the elbows drawn back, the back of the neck long, really opening up the chest. Feel like you're lengthening the spine. And exhaling, bring your hands back to your heart. So we're going to come to all fours. Take that leg, front leg, right all the way back behind us already. All right, hands right under the shoulders, lifting that heel. Exhale, knee to the nose, hollowing out. Inhale, lift that heel again. One more time, exhaling, knee to the nose. Inhale, heel up. And then just like we did in the beginning, you're going to cross it over the body, so pull your low belly in. Take your tailbone toward your heel, and then look over your shoulders, see if you can see your toes. Big, long side stretch, hip stretch. Inhaling, lift the heel, bring it back in line with the hip. And if you'd like, take your opposite thumb to the ceiling. Keep pulling that low belly in. Find one place on the mat to rest your gaze. It'll help you balance. And exhaling, hand and knee to the mat. Take your knees wider than hip width apart. Put your big toes together and rock yourself back toward a child's pose. Now, if your knees bother you, you can put a block between your hips and your heels, or a pillow, or some books. Or if your shoulders are tight, you could rest your forehead on your block or the books. The goal is to just become completely supported, right? So today, let's take our elbows out to the side, goalpost arms. Not too much weight on the forehead. Breathe into the hips and the knees. Return yourself to the intention. Your 3 positive gifts. On an inhale, bring your hands back on your shoulders and your knees, back under your hips. And we're going to do that same low lunge on the other side. So right leg forward, knee right over the ankle. Get our hips nice and low. When you're stable, bring your hands to your thighs. So this time, we're going to see if we can interlace our hands behind us. Right? So if you can get the base of your palms together, that's great. If not, just even wrapping your index fingers together. If that's not available for you, you could do the goalpost arms again, right? Think about opening up your shoulders, lifting your chest again. And on an exhale, gently release. Bring your hands to the mat. Reach that front leg all the way out behind you. Lift the crown of the head, lift the heel. Exhale, knee to nose. And again, lift the heel, lift the crown of the head. Exhaling, knee to nose. One more time, heel up, crown of the head up. Exhaling, knee to nose. And then take your heel out, super long in the spine, and cross the foot over your body. Get really, really long again on your inhale, on your exhale. Stretch that side out, looking at your toes. Nice inhale, bring the heel back in line with the body. And if you'd like, try raising the opposite thumb for a few breaths. Stay light on the wrist of the bottom hand. Push your finger pads into the mat, especially the thumb to help protect your wrist. And exhaling, hand and knee down. So take your knees wide again. Exhaling into your version of child's pose. So maybe that's goalpost arms again. Maybe you want to interlace your hands behind you and take your knuckles toward the ceiling. A few breaths. If your knuckles were in the air, release your hands back to your hips. Everybody bring your hands back to goalpost arms. I'm going to invite you to inhale deeply and sigh the exhale out your mouth, open mouth. Do that again. Inhale deeply. Exhaling, sigh. Pull that low belly in, coming up to all fours. Let's bring our left leg forward again. So getting up off the floor safely, knee over the ankle, back toes curl under. We lift that back knee. You could always use a chair instead of a block for some help, and scoot that back leg to meet the front. So when we get there, we drop our hips a little bit so the spine can be parallel to the ground. And then on an inhale, coming up with a flat spine. Take your shoulders up by the ears, roll them back, and bring them down. So we're going to do a little experiment here. We're going to do a tree pose, and then we're going to do some hip openers, and then we're going to do another tree pose and see how that makes the difference. So I'm going to shift my weight into my right leg, open the left knee out. So holding onto the wall or chair is better than keeping your foot on the ground. It's better for building bone strength. So you might have your foot pushing into your calf. You might have it above the knee, just no weight in the knee, right? Let's keep our hands at our heart center today. So we're reminded that there are a couple of things that can help you balance. One is your eyes, your focal point, focusing on one thing that's not moving, so not me. And then also coming back to your breath, simply the inhale and the exhale. Nice. We're going to come through Tadasana, mountain pose. Firm up both legs, and then right away switch to the other side. Keep your focus, your concentration. Try and do the same thing on this side that you did on the other side. Lengthen your spine. Feel yourself grounded. And exhale and gently release. Okay, and then we're going to take a big wide straddle. So you can always do this with your back against the wall for some support, or you could have a chair handy in front of you. That would be a great way to help you keep your balance. All right, and then I'm going to turn my left toes out. This is kind of ironic because working as your mirror, I'm doing one thing and saying the other, and I already have enough trouble mixing up my lefts and my rights. I'm a left-hander living in a right-handed world, but I'm going to let that go. So I've got taking my knee right over the middle of the foot so I can still see my big toe. And then you're going to push into the outer edge of your back foot, and that's going to help protect the knee, right? So take goalpost arms today. So feel your spine really long and your elbows drawing out. Rotating those thigh bones under and out. Nice deep hip opener. Good, so inhaling, bring your fingertips to the base of your skull like you did. I want you to think about tilting your left hip down like I'm a little teapot, like you're squished between one piece of glass, right? Squeeze your thigh muscles. Take yourself down toward that front thigh. And if we open up our arms, let's just see where we are. Oh, my hand's on my shin. Maybe your hand is on your thigh. Just don't want any pressure going in your knee. You could gaze straight forward. You could gaze at your big toe. Again, you could be holding onto a chair or the wall, or you could look up. I'm going to bring my hands to my hip and inhale. Come on back up. Turn those toes back toward the front. Just take a moment to notice the difference between one hip and the other. And then we'll go to the other side. So turning the other toes out, heel to arch alignment, right? Again, holding a chair or getting against the wall if it's helpful. And then take that right knee right over the middle of the foot, push into the outer edge of the back foot. And let's take those cactus arms again. Good, and then inhaling, straighten. Keep your feet where they are. Take your fingertips to the base of your skull again. Pull that low belly and drop the tailbone as you tilt your hips. Tilt your pelvis. And then use your core muscles to take your ribs toward that thigh. And see where we land, right? And then open up. Again, you could look down, straight forward, stay holding on. And then hands to the hips. Pull the low belly in. And come on back up. Let's turn our toes, all 10 toes forward. So lift your chest, soften your knees, and fold forward with a flat back. And then we're just going to bend from one side to the other. Inhaling slowly and gently through center, mindful of the knees. Keep the whole of both feet rooted. And then come on back to center. Inhaling, coming up with a straight spine. And then we're going to heel toe our way in and try tree pose again. So now that we've done those hip openers, just see what it feels like. Shift my weight into the right leg again. Decide where you want to put your foot. Use your drishti. Maybe this time you want to take your arms up in the air. When you're ready, exhaling right into Tadasana. Shift your weight and we'll go to the other side. Maybe come back to that intention that you set. Remember, this is all about caring for yourself and making yourself strong so that we can serve others. Did you just feel yourself get longer and lighter? Maybe. And exhaling, gently release. Just go ahead and walk it out. Nice. So I'm going to bring my big toes together and have my heels about an inch apart. So again, you can always do this with one arm holding a chair. Drop your tailbone, inhale. Take your arms up overhead, and if you're able to interlace your fingers and then release your index finger, kind of like you're trying to squeeze your ears. Get really, really tall. And exhale. Make that crescent moon shape to the left. Inhale, get tall. Make that crescent moon shape to the right. Just do that a couple more times. Feel your feet rooted, legs nice and strong, and upper body light. Good. Inhaling, come on back to center. Exhale, you're going to wiggle your toes and sit down into an imaginary chair. All right. Then you're going to pull your low belly in and twist toward your left. So maybe that's just your right forearm with a little leverage on your thigh. Maybe you can take your right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Check in with your knees and don't let that right knee push forward. And if you're able, bring your palms together. Really suck in that low belly and reach the crown of the head out long. If you know a way to go deeper into this practice, feel free. On an exhale, bring your hands to your thighs, release the twist. Start to lift your hips, reaching the crown of the head out long. So we look like an upside down L. Somebody could eat a meal on your back. You might just want to stay here. You might want to soften the knees a little bit. You might want to take your ribs towards your thighs, rest your hands on your shins, or grab a block. And if you're able to let your head hang all the way over like a rag doll, give that a try. Keep pushing into the big toe mound. Then wiggle your toes again, sit down into your imaginary chair. Bring your hands back to your thighs. We're going to twist to the other side, right? So forearm or elbow, find your twist, and breathe. Good, and on an exhale, again, releasing your twist. Hands to the thighs, and we're going to come to standing with a straight spine, right? Lift your shoulders up, back, and down one more time. Drop your tailbone. Feeling perhaps even more energy. And then we're going to take ourselves down to the ground. So come to the front of your mat. We will go down the same way we came up. So inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhaling, softening the knees, taking the ribcage toward the thighs, straight spine. I'm going to take my left leg way back this time so that my right knee stays right over my ankle. And then float the back knee down. and bring the knees together. So on inhale, you're going to walk your hands a little bit forward so that you can bring your shoulders over your wrists. We're in that modified plank. And see if you can keep your hips up till last. Exhaling your chin and your chest toward the mat. Nice. So you might want to grab hold of a strap here. If your quads are tight, the front of your thighs, we're going to do just a quad stretch. Then we're going to flip over and use the strap to do some other one-leg stretches. So bend that left knee, maybe take the foot from side to side a little bit. And then bringing the knees together, see if you can get a hold of your foot. So if you can't get a hold of your foot, use your strap around the ankle or grab the back of your pant leg. Just relax your body. So it took us a long time to get tight. You want to protect your knees by trying to keep them together, not letting them splay out to the side. Takes a while for things to relax. Exhale, gently release. And rock the hips from side to side. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, we'll go to the other side. Use your exhales to soften the tight place. Couple more breaths here. And then exhaling, gently release. So making that pillow for your head with your hand, rock your hips from side to side. So you just might want to stay here in this gentle back bend. You might want to do another cobra pose. If you'd like to try bow pose, where we bend both knees and reach for the ankles. You don't have to. If you've got a hold of your feet or your ankles, you could keep your forehead on the ground, or you could inhale, gently look forward and start to push your feet into your hands. So maybe your thighs come off the ground as your shoulders come up and back. Keep breathing. Now on exhale, gently release. So put your hands on your shoulders, align your legs. We're going to reverse that push-up, squeeze the elbows in. So you can get your hips up first. Come to all fours and rock your hips from side to side. So we're going to slowly transition onto our backs. You want to have your strap handy. Just shift my feet to one side. Safest way to get onto the ground is to stretch yourself out on your side so you're not rounding your spine. And then roll onto your back. So a necktie or strap, one leg bent. I'm going to start with the left leg in the air. Wrap your foot around, or wrap the strap around your ball of your foot. And then walk your hands up until your arms are straight. So think about pushing your foot into the strap even as you're pulling the strap toward the ground. Get some traction there. And then if you want, you could extend the bottom leg out. A few breaths. Again, if you keep this extended leg a little bit bent, you're going to work the big part of the muscle. If you straighten it out, you're going to work more the hamstring and the knee attachment, or the hip and the knee attachments. So holding on to the tie in just the left hand, rest your right hand on the top of your thigh. So this is a good core strengthener, right?
Slowly and gently start to take that leg out to the side, but don't let the right side of your body come off the mat. So if you're having trouble with that, you could take the right arm straight out to the side for some counterbalance. So we're just going to slowly and gently make this like a gauge on a dashboard. We're going to switch to the other side, crossing the leg over the body. Like the needle on your speedometer, just switching. And coming back. So the next time you get the leg across the body, try and keep it straight. And just breathe into that IT band, the whole outside of the leg. So it's a tendon, it's a big stabilizer, it doesn't get a lot of blood flow. One more deep exhale. Go ahead and bring that leg back up to center, release the tie, draw the knee into the chest. And for a moment, put that leg down by the other. It's one of my favorite yoga moments, noticing the asymmetry. And then preparing to go on the other side. So bending the left knee and putting the tie around the right foot. Walk your arms up. Get some traction going, energy in all directions. Then maybe you stretch the bottom leg out. Several exhales here. Then hold the tie in just the right hand. Maybe resting the left hand on the top of the thigh for a moment or two, and then start to take that leg out to the side. And when you need to stretch the arm out for counterbalance, you can do that. On an inhale, pull it in. We're just going to do that. Needle on, engage. Cross the body, switch the hands. Go to the other side. And inhaling through center, switching hands, and exhaling out. One more time, inhaling through center, exhaling across the body. Try and keep the legs straight, even if you have to lower it. And exhale into that IT band, outer leg. Inhaling, come on back up to center. Release the tie. Draw the knee in toward the chest. And then exhale, take it down by the other leg. Noticing how you've evened yourself out. Then take your arms out to the side and bend your knees. Taking your feet a little bit wider so maybe you can feel the edges of your mat. Tuck your tailbone and then just gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side. So getting ready to finish up our practice, all this movement just being so that we can be still for a bit. One more time each side. Good. Then draw the knees back up to center. Bring your feet back in line with your hips. So you could stay here for Shavasana. That's better for your low back. Or you could stretch your legs out. If you're able to turn your palms facing up, and tuck your shoulder blades together and feel the back of the neck long. You even put a blanket under the back of your neck to help your cervical spine, your neck not get hyperextended. So with the palms facing up, inhale deeply. Exhale that first positive quality, that gift that you have to share. And inhale again. Exhaling your second gift. Inhaling again. Exhaling your third gift or quality to share. One more deep inhale. And exhale a breath of gratitude for your ability to do this practice, to make yourself better, so that you can share your gifts with the world. Then let all that go. And just follow your breath. So if thoughts come, just let them float by like clouds. And return to your exhale. Take one more deep breath. Maybe exhaling out through your mouth. And then decide how you'd like to get moving again. So fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. We start with the extremities, work our way toward the spine. Take 3 or 4 more breaths to bend your knees, and if it's okay with your body, roll onto your right side, curling your knees in toward your chest. So getting ready to begin again, the embryo pose. There's a great quote attributed to a couple of different ancient figures, either Heraclius, who was a philosopher in Ephesus, or the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Haven't figured out which one. But the quote is this: your soul will be dyed by the color of your thoughts. So as you gently push yourself up to seated, maybe keeping your eyes closed, remembering rather than grasping or attaching to those things, external things you think you want or need, turn it around. Turn your thoughts to the gifts that you have to share with the world and be grateful for them. On an inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. On an exhale, bow your head to your own heart, with a pat on the back for showing up. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste. Again, reach out if you have any questions or concerns, and I look forward to seeing you soon.